Hello YouTube, it's Akai again, back with another quick video from the home studio. This is more of a public service announcement than anything else, I guess, because Akai just announced this new firmware, this new software update for the MPC platform called MPC 3. It's happening, it's real, it's coming out. It's not out just yet, so don't get it confused. It's going to launch as a public beta in a couple of weeks, I think they said. You're able to sign up for that in the link in the description down below, or the link, the URL over here, I guess. Accurate beats. Now, I have access to a version of this on the MPC Key 37 right here, so let's just take a look at some of the new improvements here that I'm personally really excited about. First of all, this is, of course, the new menu. That's exciting enough as it is. Over here we have something called Arranger. Let's not get ahead of ourselves, but this is really cool. Pretty much a DAW inside of your MPC. A linear type of workflow with a timeline like this. In this case, just 4 bars. That sounds like this. So let's zoom out a little bit. Let's go edit and duplicate the length. Now it's 8 bars. And that's not the same sequence copied over twice. Well, in one way it is, but those two different sections are unique. So let's move into the drums, for instance. Let's hit erase and hold the snare as the sequence plays. And it's now taken out of the sequence, but only over here, not on the other 4 bars over here on the timeline. So this Arranger view is brand new, right? And I can also make adjustments to the actual notes on the timeline like that. I can delete notes, I can add notes, I can do all sorts of things like that. And also, so let's take my first track here with the electric piano. Let's hold that and I can bounce this to an audio track. This takes a couple of seconds for it to process, but not much longer than that. And then I'm here with a brand new audio track on the same timeline with audio instead of just MIDI, right here. So that's the same thing, but it's rendered as audio instead of MIDI. So let's move into the mixer, which is also brand new, by the way, and take that one out completely, that being the MIDI notes, and then go back into the Arranger. And it still plays over here, but this time as audio instead of MIDI notes triggered from a plugin, if that makes sense. Which means that we can now work on an actual track from start to finish without having to fiddle around with different sequences left and right. We're able to combine MIDI and audio and build, you know, an intro, a verse, a chorus, an outro, whatever, in this Arranger view that looks like this. Color-coded, we can change the colors, we can change the names of things, we can change the order of the tracks. At this point, I've only had access to this for a couple of days myself, and I'm already getting used to working with music in this way. Kind of like what I'm used to working with Logic or Ableton Live or whatever that has this linear timeline. And I've worked with MPCs for years. I've gotten used to not having that type of workflow, but now having it on here, I don't know, it's just kind of a game changer, to be honest. And in this case, I could move into my audio track that I just created down here, and I can flatten that track, including all the different effects and stuff. I can bounce it to a sample to chop it up even more. If I wanted to, I could clear it and just record something else on that audio track on my timeline, staying in the same type of workflow, just from this single page, which is really cool. And you know, this is just one of the things that's new about MPC 3. Let's check out the main page as well, because that's where we do the majority of our work, right? So let's move from this audio track into my drums over here, which is a drum track, not a drum program. That's not what it's called anymore. And over here I have this nice visual representation of everything that's going on my track. I know that I'm on sequence 2 and my BPM and all the settings and stuff like this, but I'm also able to see the actual waveforms of the samples that I'm triggering. And if I wanted to, I could move from here into the editing page and start editing my samples as I'm used to, changing the pitch and whatever like that, and also stack up to 8 different layers of samples on a single pad. That's also a cool improvement. Now let's go back into the main page here, where I can see my sample, my track and everything that's going on, but I could also move into the arrangement from this page and watch everything that's being triggered on this single track. And something like that just makes the entire process of navigating your project a lot easier. You don't have to be confused about whether a track is playing, because you can always double check. In this case, the notes, the actual sound, and over here, the arrangement. And that's actually the same arrangement as this, but instead of seeing the entire project, you can just see the single track. To me, a workflow like that just makes a lot of sense and makes things a lot quicker, a lot easier. And also that circle over here is indicating where we are on the arrangement as well. So if we move the timeline over here, that one follows. That's also a nice touch. And if we want to make some changes to the overall volume or something like that on this track, yeah, it's just a matter of moving in there, because those two are sliders. Over there, the track that I'm working on, and over there, my main output, in this case, 1 and 2. Now, as we're talking about this mini version of a mixer, let's move into the mixer section as well, because that's also been updated since before, both for the tracks and for the pads. Let's move into mix, and this is now the track mixer. Right, and a double tap on the mixer button now takes us into the pad mixer. And of course, everything here is color-coded in the same way as it is on the actual track itself. And that also goes for the track mixer. That makes sense compared to the arranger, the same kind of colors going on. And yeah, I know that I move way too fast here, and this is not a tutorial. This is just a brief overview of the things that I'm really excited about seeing in MPC 3 whenever it actually comes out. And it's way more stuff than this, way more things that I'm able to cover in a short video like this, for sure. We're getting small things like the fact that we can now rearrange the main menu and move these things around to our own liking. I can move into the arrange mode over here, and I can edit my actual audio on the timeline like this, just creating different cuts and edits like that, which is really, really cool. From the main page over here, we now have access to this new menu over here for the timing correction, the loop mode, the automation, the metronome, and whatever. Even more stuff over here, and customize how the Q-Link knobs work in different modes. Moving into my drum track over here. The grid page now looks better than ever with the colors and everything going on. What more can I say? A lot of things has just been changed for the better, at least in my book. And we haven't even touched on all the new things that's going on with the automation, because we can add automation straight from the arrange view as well. Arrange view, let's zoom into my drum track. Let's move over here. Automation can be adjusted from here. Simple as that. Velocity, probability, ratchet, MIDI aftertouch, whatever I want, basically. You know, the list just goes on. It's kind of crazy when you think about it. We're getting a new version of the MPC for our older MPCs. And this is going to be compatible with everything from the MPC Live 1 up to the MPC X, SE, and everything in between, which is awesome. And obviously I need to spend way more time with this myself. It's only been a couple of days and there's a lot of stuff to go through. And I'm thinking about trying to cover this entirely in some type of videos. Maybe like a tutorial series on how to use this. I don't know. If that's a good idea, please comment down below so I know that's worth putting my time into. But, you know, that's it. Thanks a lot for watching this video, and I hope to see you guys in the next one too. Until then, ha det gott!
Accurate beats.